Hi, this is Bill Prankert, and welcome to Stand on Guard. In the last session that we did, I was speaking to you from the book, 6 Keys to Breakthrough and Healing, and talking about the fact that it's really important how we talk. You know, according to Psalm 34, if you want to live a long, healthy life, you got to speak in a positive way. You got to keep your tongue and your lips from evil. Well, you know, what happens in the body of Jesus is that if we get touched and blessed through a ministry, then, you know, we get their books and we get their videos and we watch their program or whatever. And wow, that we're into that. And that obviously that's great. You're getting fed by the one that has probably introduced you to the faith or brought healing to you or something. And then you hear another message from another minister and it seems to be talking about something totally different. And many times we just say, well, that's wrong, because they're not saying the same thing. The Bible talks about the full counsel of God. Gwen and I came to an appreciation a long time ago of the variety that God has in the body, and that if we'll let everybody just do what they're doing, and they'll reach people we won't reach, we'll reach people they won't reach, and together we can see the world changed. I remember several years ago, I was invited to have lunch with Robert Schuller from the Crystal Cathedral. And so my son-in-law, Mike, and I went to Boston, had lunch with him. And his ministry had really touched me when I was going through a challenging time and just injected me with positive thinking. And then that evening, I'd accepted the invitation to go down and have dinner with a man that was a dear friend of mine, David Wilkerson, who had started Teen Challenge and had started the great church, Times Square Church in New York. And he'd wanted me to go down to New York and see what he's doing. So we had dinner with him that night. So, you know, there you have it. I mean, David Wilkerson on one side of the spectrum, Robert Schuller on the other side. And we loved them both. We appreciated both of these great men of God who are doing and reaching people for Christ. And yet, you know, people in their camp would be against theirs, and people in their camp would be against theirs. And we say, why don't we just celebrate the diversity that God has in the body? We had people in our home a long time ago who were going through all kinds of things. They were sick, they had tragedy, they had financial problems, and yet they were preaching a faith message. They were only in our home about 20 minutes, and they had ripped apart almost every ministry we were connected with. And finally I said she was saying things like, oh, I hate that one, and I can't stand that one. And so, you know, I didn't want to be offensive, but I was being offended. So I finally said, you know, we're glad you're here. We pray we can bless you and you can get some rest here in ministry, but we don't talk that way in our house. And I said, most of the people you've talked in the ministries you've talked about, they're our friends. And they're people that have poured into our life, and they've helped us and strengthened us. So we have a great attitude about them. And so, you know, went a little silent for a while. I wasn't trying to be rude, but I just thought, I believe I'd found the key to their breakthrough. And I don't know whether they ever really believed it or not, but what you say is so important. Not just for those because if you criticize a ministry, if you tear down a ministry, I'm here to tell you right now, it's not going to bother them. They'll just go on, but it will bother you. It'd be like poison in your system, and it's not worth it. It's absolutely not worth it. I'm not talking about compromise. I'm just talking about the fact that appreciate the body of Jesus. And we do this on a local level. You know, so-and-so isn't like me and this. Well, nobody's like you. You are so unique and you are so special, and so are they. And come to appreciate the fact that we are different and we're all under construction. None of us have perfected yet. So we got to be patient one for another. But if you want to live a long, healthy life, you need to start guarding your tongue and speaking blessing and speaking life and speaking health and faith. Faith confession is talking about not where you are, but where you're going to go. That's what it is. So have a great day, and thanks for standing on guard with us.